I'll be right back, yeah. Yeah, what up, what up, what up, what up? Yo, started a heated ass debate on Facebook yesterday. Yo, it was right before I went to bed too, yo. I just threw a question out there, like right before I went to bed. The next morning, man, that shit got like 70 fucking comments on it. But the question I asked was, why aren't the pyramids mentioned in the Bible? Why aren't the pyramids mentioned in the Bible? Them motherfuckers going crazy over that shit. But it was a long debate and people posting different articles and things. That's why I put the question out there. You know? It's something I thought about over the years. And it's a topic that only like real major theists and biblical scholars try to explain. And the thing is that in the explanations, motherfuckers be reaching. Like they reach hard. Like, there's a passage that says such an Moses' brother was a brick maker, and he made bricks out of mud and straw. Okay, and then they said the Tower of Babel could have been considered a pyramid or a ziggurat. I'm like, nah, not the same description. The tower and the pyramid are two different things. And then plus the pyramids aren't made out of mud bricks. They're made out of giant fucking limestone blocks or some shit. So people was going back and forth for a long time. Saying that if was a fifth, we all be drunk. If this, if that. People reaching for straws. Because it's a simple question. A real simple question, man. Why aren't the pyramids mentioned in the Bible? They are mentioned, just not directly. If you apply history, then it all adds up. Yo, I'm you stand the man. I'm trying to eat and educate at the same time. But that's what. Wow, 100 replies. It was, and it's like two of my homies from back home. They're going in on each other so bad. Fingerprints of the Gods. They mention in Graham Hancock. Oh my God, these guys are going back and forth. I don't know. It's so much stuff to read. Like there's over 100 comments on here, and it's mostly two guys going back and forth. One trying to say that the Bible does mention the pyramids, and one guy saying that they clearly don't mention the pyramids. And I've read most of the Bible, and I've never read any mention of the pyramids. They just like dude said, oh, making mud bricks and stuff. That's not building pyramids. Um. Anyway, if they don't even talk about the construction of the pyramids, it's just like the pyramids themselves. That's just like going anywhere. Oh, I went to France and saw the Eiffel Tower, or Paris and saw the Eiffel Tower or something. People would say that. You know, there would be people in the Bible that said, oh, and such happened in the shadow of the pyramids, or, but nah. I hated what's up. And Peter Brown says, because the pyramids predate the book. I understand that the pyramids are older than the biblical text. But still, that's just like, you know, going to New York and being like, oh, I saw the Statue of Liberty. Like, you know, somebody still would talk about it, even though it predates. It predates the writing. Someone during that era would still make a mention to like some of the greatest structures ever erected by mankind. Well, I don't know. How, do I do meditation? Bro, every time I pick up a paintbrush, I'm meditating. I meditate all the time. It is my therapy. Do you believe in the Bible or no? Nope. I really don't. I think the Bible is a accumulation of retold stories from older civilizations that predates the Abrahamic scriptures. They're just old stories that get told over and over again. And for some reason, the biblical narrative has been able to take a grip and maintain for centuries. Most of all because of the Inquisitions and the forcefulness that the Christian religion took to prove that it was the one and true religion. So, do I believe? I believe in a God. I don't believe in the God of the Bible. Bro, I do that too, bro. Just like, I mean, there is no, what would you say is a legit form of meditation? Just, that's like, once again, going back to art. What is a legit form of art? You know what I'm saying? Like, is abstract art a legit form? Is portraiture a legit form? Like, what is a legit form of art? The same thing as with meditation is, you know what I'm saying? You can meditate many type of ways and still uh, stimulate your pineal gland. You don't have to be in some, you know, some smoke-filled room with sage burning and incense and all that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's about to happen soon? Mm-hmm. You sound kind of creepy though. The Bible is it's a bunch of stories, bro, to explain things that we can't explain. My Bible older than yours, bro. All right. I gotta believe in this shit just because it's persisted for so long. No, man. All right. The ones that preach are the ones in disguise. Malachi 4:1. You can read Psalms 41 when they talk about a fire breathing water dragon. You know what I'm saying? You believe in that? You believe in Leviathan, a fire breathing water dragon? Huh? Huh? You believe a man was ate by a fish and stayed inside the belly of a fish for 7 days? And then came out alive to tell the story? You believe this man put 2 of every animal on the boat? I'm just saying, bro, like if you gonna believe Malachi 4:1, you gotta believe everything in the damn Bible. All that shit don't make no sense, bro. It don't. When you look at it, man, the God of the Bible is a major failure. This dude can't get shit right at all. He can't get shit right, yo. He create all this beautiful shit in the garden. The first 2 people don't even pay attention to his ass. What the fuck? The first 2 people, you can't even get that shit right. So he cast them out. And then his angels, they just fuck up shit. They go down there, they start fucking all the human women and stuff. He ain't get that right. So he had to cause a flood because he fucked everything up. Now he just want to start over. And then you start over and still can't get shit right. So he had to come to earth as his son and sacrifice himself for everybody's sins and give out a new covenant because he fucked up so much shit in the Old Testament. Hallelujah, praise the Lord, Jesus Christ. It don't make no sense, bro. But I'm just saying, that's just my point of view. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he will smite thee. For what? God just mean and angry and vengeful, and he kill all kind of people for stupid ass reasons. For no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? The God of the Bible is weird as hell, bro. The God of the Bible is really weird, dude. And that's the God you want to believe in? The almightyful, all just, all merciful, but he allowed slavery. He allowed slavery. That's God's work, right? He allowed cancer and Ebola. Come on, man. I'm getting ads and messages. All right. Where's my dictionary? Encyclopedia of Gods. Over 2,500 deities of the world. But this dude says, oh, the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible is the true God, and Jesus. And I'm like, bro, don't you know there were plenty of gods and deities with the exact same mythological structure, the same allegories, the same virgin birth and death and 3-day resurrection. There's a couple of characters like that predate Jesus, that predates the Christian narrative. Even if you look at the Egyptian narrative of Horus and Isis, it's basically the same story. You know what I'm saying? Because Horus was chopped into pieces and he was dead, but Isis gathered all his body parts and put them back together, and he was resurrected. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same story, bro, over and over. But people are hung up on this Bible myth like it's facts. It's not facts, and you can't find any extra biblical sources to prove that the Bible is true. The Bible is the only thing that you have to prove that the Bible is true. I don't think I'm gonna let you call me. Yeah, God with the big G, not little G's. And that's the thing, like the God of the Bible is so personified. He's a person. You know what I'm saying? He's not the infinite consciousness, the all-inclusive energy spark. He's just like this bully that can't get his shit together. And that's not some guy that I'm going to follow. You know what I'm saying? God is everything. God is everything that science cannot explain. The force that holds electrons and protons together and that make atoms stay together, all that shit, that's what God is. We can't figure out what's over the event horizon or what dark matter is or how electricity or gravity actually works because it's God. You know what I'm saying? God encompasses all matter, space, time, and energy. Not some dude who's sitting in a kingdom on a throne with angels and he's having a war with one of his bad angels in hell like that. That's a phony ass story. That shit don't make no sense, bro. It don't. Exactly. The God that got me breathing is the God that I'm in tune with, not the God of the Bible. That's all it is. Once you understand we're all connected, that there is only one consciousness. The one consciousness thinks of itself as I. And everybody is I. Because in your mind, you are I. I go here, I do this. And everyone thinks that we are all I. We are all a part of the one consciousness, the one supreme consciousness. We're just an aperture of it. Living and experiencing this thing that we call life to enrich and nourish the God consciousness. And once these physical vessels can't hold the portion of God that we are, we just go back to the supreme source. There is no heaven, there is no hell. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on a spectrum. Where do you go from being hot and cold? There is no real decisive point. Everything is on a spectrum. Good, bad, love, hate. You know what I'm saying? And the more positive you can keep your frequencies, the more you understand that there is a oneness amongst everything, all matter, living, non-living, then you don't need a religion. You don't need any kind of scriptures or ancient scrolls to fucking let you know that it's good to be humane. You know what I'm saying? You are a conscious being. Nobody has to teach you that. And hot dogs and Doritos. You know what I'm saying? This is godly. The Bible is not a religion. The Bible is the basis of most Western culture, European religions. They all use the same book. Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Christian, Catholic, Protestant. They all use the Bible. Give us your money, your tithes, and your offerings, so that there may be meat in my storehouse. Amen. Have some live candle streams. Do God have laws for us to follow? I really doubt it. Unless the fundamental, what we, once again, like Stan said, we're always trying to search and understand everything, and we're not. We're not going to understand everything. Once again, things that science can't explain, that's God. If you want to say the laws of physics and quantum mechanics that we understand that sets everything in motion, yeah, those are laws, the natural laws of time, space, and matter. Now, if you want to say, oh, God has laws like the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, blah, 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 I don't think so, bro. You know, in Genesis, because I love Genesis, the Old Testament is so fun, yo. The Old Testament is way better than the New Testament. But anyway, in Genesis, Cain killed Abel. And God said, hey, that's wrong. I'm going to banish you. And then generations and generations later, he give Moses the 10 Commandments that say, thou shalt not kill. We been knew that from the first man who got murdered. From the first dude who got murdered. We knew that killing was wrong, and that why there was a whole talk about punishment and banning and exile and all that good shit. Even Moses fled Egypt because he killed a man. He knew it was wrong. But then God was like, oh, I better write these down for you guys. Like, so those kind of laws, no, those are common sense laws of being a human, yo. If somebody punches you in your face, it'll probably hurt. So that means don't go around punching other people in their face, because you'll probably hurt them. I don't need somebody to give me a law for that shit. And Cain is the white man. Okay. Science is foolish and the white man is the devil. I'm gonna just let you know right now, bro. I have a moderator in the stream right now, so you better watch what you say. We're not here to disrespect people or call people devils and stuff. Well, so my man might cut you out the stream if you keep talking too negative. Yo, and they the spicy kind. Not the Jack Ranch Dip Hot Wings. Bruh. It's too delicious right now. You ain't trying to save my life, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I've been living this whole life a long time before you came in here. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the people of Sentinel Island off the coast of Indonesia, the blackest black people ever still on the face of the planet, they've been isolated for, some people estimate, like 35, 50,000 years. Isolated on this one island. Nobody don't come to their island, they don't leave their island. For 30,000 years. So all their souls is doomed to hell because they've never heard the word of Christ. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. That shit don't even make no damn sense. Yeah, and they will kill you if you come to their island. So you're not trying to save nobody's life or save nobody's soul. That is ridiculous nonsense. Mm-mm. I'm gonna write a song called Two Hot Dogs and Doritos. It's gonna be a hit. Two hot dogs and Doritos. Banking on the haters like Fritos. But the question which spawned this whole long debate was, why aren't the pyramids mentioned in the Bible? I can believe that, but that don't mean that's some kind of biblical prophecy, some God coming back to destroy whatever. America's been bullying the whole world since World War II. Yeah, eventually the world is going to get tired of the last empire that has over 200 permanent military installations globally in other countries, when no other country can have a permanent military installation within our borders or any of our territories. So yeah, like Iran and China and Russia and all these motherfuckers ganging up, that's just geopolitics. That's not biblical prophecy. Well, mainstream Egyptologists say that the pyramids are roughly 4,500, 5,000 years old. But there is a geological scientist named Robert Schoch. And I remember when I was in high school, this news came out. It was like 97 or 98. He went to the Giza Plateau and was looking at the erosion on the Sphinx and noticed that the erosion was not sand erosion, but it was water erosion. And in order for the Sphinx to have been eroded as much due to the forceful impact of water, they had to trace back when was the last time the Giza Plateau had torrential downpours. And it's probably that part of Africa didn't get heavy rains for like 12,000 years ago. So now they're really pushing the age of the entire Giza Plateau further back than 5,000 years. They're looking at 10,000 to 12,000 years, and then other archaeologists and Egyptologists are saying that oh, nobody was building structures this big that long ago until they found this place in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe, and it's a megalithic site that has giant stone construction, and it dates back to about 12,000 years ago. So right now it's really up in the air, like what's the build date for the pyramids. Once again, some of these other scientists and researchers like Robert Bauval are saying that the dynastic Egyptians that we know of, even the earlier black founding Egyptians, did not build the structures that are found out there. They just moved into it. The pyramids may come from a civilization that was completely wiped out, that was lost to history, and the Ethiopians and other Africans moved into Egypt and then started writing hieroglyphs on these massive works of stone that were already erected. That's why when you look at, there's some coffins that they found in Egypt that are marble or some really hard stone, and it's polished to a fucking mirror finish. Like, they polished the hell out of this stone, and then you have this really, really crude, chiseled like hieroglyphs in it that just tell you that the craftsmanship is of two different works. The people who built the sarcophagus aren't the same people who carved all this graffiti all over it. It was a later people who came in who found these magnificent works of stone and set up shop like squatters, basically, and started ruling from there. What am I going to do when martial law happens? So about 10 years ago, I used to make music. I was a rapper.
The Bilderberg building, 9/11 false flags, now they making trillions, trained all the terrorists and now they want to kill them. Martial law is coming, so think about the children. Say we need a bigger army, so they gotta train the youth. Mandatory military service, what they gonna do? 18 to 25, 3 was a boot camp, send them money overseas and still I can't get food stamps. 110 stories collapse, 10 seconds flat, man, how the hell they do that? You must be can't do math. When I talk about this stuff, a lot of people do laugh. Please stay, put you in a FEMA camp too. Man, the average person stressing the recession got us too mad. Big banks getting bailed off the bed.
Oh, martial law won't happen for me, buddy, because I own land, I own properties, you know. They can try to round motherfuckers up, but I'll be off the grid somewhere. I'm in a small network of people who are in the know, who knows. And I wouldn't doubt if they really tried to do like some martial law. type schemes, but I'm from South Carolina. There's don't worry. I'm not worried about martial law, bro. I'm not worried about martial law at all, homie. You know what I'm saying? Gas generators, solar panels, seed stock reserves, ponds that are stockpiled with fish, deer for hunting game. Like, it's easy to live off the grid. Martial means they gonna kill you. God said it's gonna happen. Man, they got you on that Jesus juice, and you be in Bible study way too much, bro. This motherfucker taking every geopolitical, social issue and saying, "Hey, the Bible said this was gonna happen." Man, Jesus said that on the Sermon on the Mount. Long time ago. Ain't nothing happened yet. You know what I'm saying? The things that are happening are due to mankind and power hungry capitalistic nations. This is no biblical prophecies, bro. It's no biblical prophecies at all. That's the one I was waiting on. Jesus, that thing was stuck like in between my goddamn my scapula and my sternum. Oh man, the last episode of Game of Thrones. What?
Thinking about a new car? Raise your FICO score first.
All right, so we are moving on. This is like the quickest calls I've ever done. We're moving on to, this is Dave in the UK who wants to talk about transitioning out of religion. You're having an issue shedding traditions and habits, and you're on with Tracy and John.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Just to add a little bit of context, if you don't mind, around 4 weeks ago, I went on a weekend away with church, and it was really problematic. I decided to challenge a lot of the ways that I thought about church, just because it was one of those where they're speaking in tongues and they're saying, "Run around," and we're all going to shout, "Jesus is alive." So my question is, since then, I've been really just challenging a lot of my beliefs, but it's been years and years and years of me following this religion, so it's so predominant in everyday life. My question is, how do you let go of those things? How do you get back to a point where there's not prompts constantly about religion in everyday life?
might be something better for you to address because I never had to do that.
He's talking to me, not you.
Yeah.
Address it yourself. No, that's not.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Tracy if you're not watching
Yeah, I
the
don't know
screen.
if you can see
but
this.
yeah, I never had to shed belief, so I could
So
sort of speak academically.
when you
but-
talk about prompts in life, like, can you define for me a little bit better? I did hear what you said, but I don't know if I caught quite what you meant by that.
Sure thing. So like for example, first thing in the morning, the thing that you would do is kind of pray. If something good happens, your mind switches over to God. Things just like really general things like that. But the issue is like it's tied into so much of it's kind of all consuming to the point that I'm trying to let go of them and get to a point of where I can actually challenge them, but I still have it juxtaposition.
Okay,
with-
so I mean, do you at this point? They've got you listed as a theist. What is your position on God's existence at this point?
This is the thing. I don't know, and I can't see any logic behind it. That's the difficulty now.
Right, but does that change how you feel about it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not getting the words out correctly.
That's okay. Take your time.
It is a case of it's constantly going back to religion, and for example, you mentioned before about the community aspect. It's a case of now walking away from community and friendships and relationships that I have with people. It's walking away from almost a lot of the morals and the values that were built on religious texts. And now I'm having to reestablish myself, and it's like, where do I go from here when I know the thing that I used to be extremely devoted to is crumbling.
I'm trying to think of how to craft a response here. There's a lot to unpack there, right? So this isn't just about the prompts. So you've got the prompts, but you've also got loss that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
You're leaving the church. Was that like a public sort of thing? Are there people that were in touch with you outside of church that you now have to deal with those situations as well?
Yeah, so the first thing I got was a message after the first week I didn't go to church saying, hey, I noticed you weren't in. And then I kind of was messaged saying, look, I noticed the absolute exploitation and manipulation that was going on at that event, and it was horrible. And they were like, oh, come for a coffee, we'll talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And it just saw it as like they're trying to reel me back in. But it's walking away from community now.